guys, so this is Raj once again. So today I was planning to do a bit of a self introduction about myself as an engineer, as an AI engineer. So so I'm based in India basically, and I'm coming from the southern part of India, the southernmost tip of India. I'm from this state and I'm from city called Chennai. So this is where I did my undergraduation. I did my undergraduation in electrical and electronics engineering, specializing in embedded systems and robotics. So during my engineering days, like I build stuff like 3D printers and drones and a lot of embedded systems. What is embedded systems? Basically a combination of hardware and software where you design a circuit and then you try to build a circuit in a hardware which involves soldering, wiring, all those things, and then connecting the resistors, inductors, capacitors, sensors, integrated chipsets and stuff. So making PCBs. So that is something I was really passionate about. I did the engineering stuff first, and then I also code. I'm mostly in embedded C and build products, build prototypes and stuff. So I can show you some stuff here. So so these are some of stuff that I built as a part of my course. Like a 3D printer was my final year thesis. I built drones and I did a lot of small embedded projects. So after doing my undergraduate graduation in Chennai, I got an opportunity to work in IIT Madras. IIT Chennai was previously known as Madras, which is my city. So there is something called IIT Madras. It's the full form is Indian Institute of Technology Madras. So IITs are like the Ivy League schools of India, just like Harvard, Stanford, Oxford, and Cambridge are known as the Ivy League schools of USA and UK. Here in India, we call them as IITs. These are top-notch research institutions where I was working. So in IIT Madras, I was part of a research lab slash company, a spin-off I called HTIC, where I was working as an embedded programmer there. And I was working in the part of a clinical wearables team where I was making pulse oximetry, SpO2 sensors. Yeah. So just give me a minute, let me check the stream. Nice. Yeah. So I was doing all those things. That gave me a huge boost in my confidence actually, because just before going to these Ivy League institutions, I was quite good in making projects myself, but most of them were in 8-bit kind of 8-bit 4-bit microcontrollers, never at an industrial scale of like 32-bit or so, or even 64-bit ARM processors and stuff. So I have no idea what are those. So that is what that I learned a lot in IIT Madras. Like the learning curve was very steep. I was there for like 6 months, I guess, but I felt like I was there for 3 years or so. Or the amount I learned from the place in 6 months was so huge actually. So after that, I moved to IIT Delhi. It's in the capital of India, as the name says, Delhi. So I was working in IIT Delhi as a in this here I was working as a AI engineer slash computer vision kind of a guy, and also a little bit of robotics like PID tuning and stuff. So I was building self-driving cars, part of the self-driving car team. So this is the car that I was working on at that time. And then in IIT Madras, this is what I was building. This is also an image I wanted to share with you. The pulse oximetry kiosk where I was responsible for developing the pulse oximetry. So these are the two things I did in India. And apart from that, I also did a lot of courses in Coursera. In Coursera, I did like more than 25 certification with around like 2 or 3 specializations I did on top of it. So I was getting an opportunity to be a mentor in machine learning and 3D printing in some of the courses. So that was like a very good experience for me to interact with the international crowd and expose myself to what's out there and what are the possibilities. And very soon I also became like an alpha tester for unreleased AI courses in Coursera. That was also cool actually. So what got me into these IITs is because I really do not want to go and work for an IT company, which India is known for. We are service based companies, almost all of them go and be a programmer. So I wanted to do something different, that I always knew that I wanted to do my masters abroad. So I did. I wanted to sell my portfolio better and make a very good portfolio in the first place, so that I can sell myself well. So I thought IIT is a good name, which the world knows. Like at least the universities and some of the big corporations know. The reason because IITs are so big in India and sometimes outside, because of the alumni and the quality of teaching they have, and then the huge alumni they have. For example, CEO of Google is Sundar Pichai, is from IIT as well, and a lot of CEOs are from IIT. So that's a good example as well. And Sundar Pichai is from my state as well, so that's really cool. Yeah, and I did all those things, and then I moved to Europe. Um, so yeah, so I did my bachelor's for 4 years, and then I was working both the IITs for 1 year, and then I moved to Europe. As you can see, these are all the places I have been to. So I started out in Berlin, that's where I was studying. So in Germany, I was studying in TU Berlin. So one of the Ivy League universities of Germany, I guess. So TU's technical universities. There are like 9 universities, I guess. So Technical University of Berlin is one of them, one of the prestigious ones. So I got in my master's is a unique one. It's completely taught in English. It's like a dual master's program, so you study in two countries. So my master's degree, I obtained it from two different countries, two different universities. So one is TU Berlin and one is KTH Royal Institute of Technology, Sweden. So yeah. So in Germany, and my name of my master's course is Masters in Autonomous Systems, specialization in AI and robotics. So I in India I was more of an embedded programmer, kind of shifting towards AI and a little bit of robotics. When I come when I left India and came to Germany, I completely transitioned into robotics projects for the most part. Stopped doing the embedded stuff completely, and then I came across the AI space. Mm, the interesting story is like part of my Coursera courses that I did, like 2025 certifications. One of the specializations was deep learning. I was so thankful that I did that. So when I came to Germany, I was already starting to work in projects, and already I knew AI well enough that I could make projects and start integrating into the application side of things rather than learning the technology itself. So that was a huge benefit for me doing those courses in the undergrad. Yeah, and working in two research labs and then doing this 20 plus certifications in Coursera helped really to get a good portfolio actually. The reason why I'm saying that is because when I applied to Europe, I applied to 9 countries. I almost got admitted in all 9 of them. So the reason was, I think, is because of all the portfolio that I developed in India. And not only that, I got admitted, and in this combination dual master's degree, I got like 24,000 euros of scholarships. That means in a month I was getting paid 1,000 euros, and also my tuition fees was waived, partially cut in half. So that was a huge boost. They're coming from India, coming from a little bit like a middle class or a lower middle class family, where my father's income is not very high, so my mom has to also work and to support the family. Getting 1,000 euros every month really helped me a lot. I did not have to take any educational loan, and then I was living happily. So yeah, and also of course it was really stressful and hard first time leaving home and leaving the country, going to another subcontinent, different language, different culture. All those barriers slash challenges were there, of course, and those are things for another video. So yeah, so in Berlin, what did I do? For the most part, I was working in healthcare. Yeah, in healthcare I was working in aneurysm, stroke, those kind of use cases using artificial intelligence and computer vision. And then I was also doing some robotic projects, multi-agent systems, reinforcement learning, combination with robotics. Those things I was doing. And then when I moved to Sweden, the second half of my course after 1.5 years being in Germany, Sweden is a beautiful, beautiful place. By the way, it's like the Nordics are so pretty. You guys should definitely check it out. So I was KTH Royal Institute of Technology is at Stockholm, the capital, of course. So it's one of the most beautiful campuses ever, and maybe I can show some images. I guess, yeah, this is how it looks. It's really good. Yeah, and it's really cold as well. If you guys like the cold, I love the cold, so I am happy with that. So many people coming from India hate it. So this is how the library looks actually. It's very close to my dorm as well. Yeah, from a bigger picture it looks like this. The university looks like this. And I was almost living here, I think, somewhere very close to the campus. There are like 2 3 satellite campuses as well. And yeah, here what did I do in Sweden? In Sweden I was working on self-driving cars once again, and then I did my thesis, final year thesis, in Scania, a trucking company. I guess many of you know Scania buses and trucks, and they also make submarine engines as well. So yeah, so I was doing my thesis there, and I can show you some images. Yeah, so these are the images of the Formula student team that I was part of as a senior design engineer working in the computer vision space. and and this is like the image of my thesis in Scania, where I was working in the monocular depth estimation project, and then object detection, semantic segmentation. So these are the computer vision stuff that I was doing. My The title of my thesis is operational data extraction using the visual perception of trucks. So trying to extract any kind of useful information from the camera. That's it. That's present in the dash cam of the truck. So yeah, and these are some of the projects that I was doing in the medical side of things, mostly with respect to radiology and computer vision. Yeah, and these are some of the projects that I did, and yeah, that's it, I guess. So that is my introduction as an engineer actually. And then I also traveled during my masters. I have been to all the other small cities in Germany, few of them, and then I've been to Austria, I've been to Prague, and then I've been to Finland as well, Helsinki. So, and then what else? I think from the engineering perspective, that's it. And then by the time I graduated, pandemic happened, or while I was graduating, so my thesis got extended. So by the time my thesis ended, it was like 2021, late 2021, I guess. So yeah, so my masters lasted anywhere between 2018 to 2021. Yeah. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much.